everyone. Thank you all for joining in. Let's get started, right? So this is free Intune training provided by How to Manage Devices community, and this is 21st episode of free Intune training. On Friday, we have seen some policy creation topics about software updates, right, or patching. Okay, before continuing, are you guys able to see my screen? Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes, Sunny. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so on Friday, Thursday, I think we covered a little bit of software updates. On Thursday, I think we started explaining bits and pieces of this diagram we explained on Thursday. If you have not seen the previous episodes, please watch those episodes. Recordings are available in our YouTube channel. Please refer to those. Otherwise, probably you might not understand what we are going to cover today, right? Okay, so let's let's do start from one thing, right? Let's open up our Intune portal and let's see something new today, right? Probably I'm okay. So this should be 2005 in couple of days, right? Probably, right? So Intune new service is releasing soon for this month. Okay, it's not reached our tenant yet, but Microsoft is widely releasing it. In couple of days, you would be able to see 2005 release over here, right? So a lot of improvements over there. And after that, as I mentioned in one of my um, previous sessions, you can see like what is new in Intune over here, right, in the home page. So you can refer to that. Okay, so let's go back to software updates topic, right? On Friday, if you remember, we have created a software update policy using Windows 10 update ring, and we have deployed that was HDMD ring 1. So if I open that and see the status, you can see like it got deployed to 4 devices, right? So let me check whether it got deployed to 4 devices or some it was like it is something else, right? Go to device status and check which are those devices, right? So 01 is this mission, right? I logged in with local user, that's why it states system account. It used system account, and all the other devices which where I am logged in 203, right? All are using my username. Okay. Okay, let's check what are the changes happened on the client device, right? After deploying that policy. So okay, let me come back to this. Right. Before that, let me show you this one, right? So this is Intune Intune 03. This is Azure AD joined device. You can see Azure AD slash Anup Chandran, right? So Azure AD joined device, right? And on Friday we have seen the if I when I clicked on this one, there were only 3 policies, and those were like coming from group policy or something, right? It was stating like these are the controlled by group policy or something. So now after applying our Windows 10 update ring 1, what are the changes over here? Let's check that first. So I clicked on view, and you can say view view configured update policies. You can see a lot of policies now here, right? And some of the policies are still group policy. You can see like group policy, right? Probably that is a local policy, right? Okay, download, update, install specific schedule, right? That's a local policy, right? But some of the policies are coming down from MDM, right? So it says policy type MDM. So that means Intune or some other MDM is handling these policies, right? So why it doesn't say Intune? because we are using Windows 10 MDM agent, or Windows 10 MDM, basically MDM component part of, which is part of Windows 10 OS, right? So that is why it shows MDM management. Okay, so this can be AirWatch also. Okay, or if mobile, I don't know whether mobile iron supports Windows 10 or not, but if they support it, probably they can also manage these policies from their console, right? But that is why it says MDM. In our case, it's Intune, right? So Intune is deploying these policies: install and notify for a restart, uh, set when active hours start, right? We have configured that policy on Friday. Set active hours end, right? So all these policies we have configured on Friday, if you remember it, right? So as you can see, most of the policies are coming from mobile device management, MDM channel, through MDM channel. Okay, only two policies I can see, like group policy. One is update option, and the other one is, I think, if I remember correctly, that is the download, update, and install, right? So let's go back and check what is happening over here, right? It checked for the latest update and it didn't find any. Probably it got installed before we applied the policy. So let me go to appwiz.cpl and check what are the policies updates installed, right? So it got installed on 14th, the latest patch, right? I think 14th was 14th was Thursday, right? So it got already installed before we implemented the policy, right? We created the policy on Friday through Intune, so it got installed before that. So that is why probably Intune policies are not showing up, or like it was not there, right? Intune policies are not there. That is why um, the policies, the updates are already installed on the machine, right? Probably for the next month we would be able to see, or any other release of patches we would be able to see. So that is why we have a different device, right? In that device you would be able to see some different updates, right? So this is my Azure AD registered device. Okay, so this is Intune 04, and I logged in with local username and password, right? As you can see over here, Intune 04 local username. Okay, and this is again, if I say WinVer, right? To find out the Windows version, this is Windows 10 1903 version. Okay, so on Friday, what we did is we created as Windows 10 update policy, and in the feature updates, we have mentioned feature update policies. We have mentioned that, give me a sec, let me show you, right? 0 day, right? Feature update deferral if I can pronounce that correctly, right? Feature update deferral period days 0. Okay, we set it at 0. That is why now it is trying to install it as soon as possible, and it want this mission is asking us to restart. Okay, so, but what I'm trying to do here is, probably I want to stop this install. I don't want to get into 1909. Probably we can assume like there is some application compatibility issue or something. So I want to stay in 1903 and directly move into 2004, right? Rather than going into 1909. Okay. So what we can do about it, right? So let's see that, right? Before going into that, probably we can see the policies and we can check the policies over there. So most of the policies here also coming down from MDM channel. Okay, so that is coming from down from this policy, main policy, which we created on Friday. Okay, anyways, so before getting into another thing, let me show you the registry entries also, right? So this is the registry entry where the policies are coming in, right? So I don't know if you are able to see it properly, but this is the basic policy entries which we kind of created, apply or deployed through Intune, right? Okay, so if you have something to do, if you want to troubleshoot, right, you need to get into this registry entries and check whether the policies are getting applied or not, right? And you can go to event viewer, right? And in the event viewer, you can go to applications and services log, right? And there could be two logs which you want to look into. One is, if I go to Microsoft and Windows, and if I go to Enterprise device management, where is it? Okay, device management, Enterprise diagnostics provider, right? So if I go to this particular log, this is my MDM channel event log, right? Whatever you are deploying through MDM channel, all those events will be logged over here. Okay, so you would be able to see some uh, policies are getting deployed and having some error issues there, right? So if I can double click, and you can see like MDM configuration manager command line status tuk, right? So it is trying to apply some policy, right? ADMX install, and it says like, okay, there's some problem with that, right? So that is error message, right? So these are the things you can look into to check what is happening. So for MDM, there is no log file, right? If you are deploying a policy, if you are deploying an application, so you have seen MDM based applications also, right? Single MSI application, which is called LOB application in Intune, that is also deployed through MDM, right? So those things doesn't have a log file, don't have a log file, but if you are deploying an application through IME or Intune management extension, Win32 application, like if that you are using that, then you have a log file in that IME folder, right? So if you are not sure about sure what I'm talking about, probably you have missed Win32 application deployment scenarios. So probably you can go back to those recordings and watch those to understand what happened in those episodes, right? Okay, so this is a place you need to look into for those log files, right? And there would be a Windows um, update agent related update client, right? So I don't know whether this is there. Okay, so you can see like there is another log, event log also, where you can check about Windows update agent, right? So all these policies are coming down from Intune, and but Intune is handing over everything to Windows Update Agent to install it, right? So that is why we are checking Windows Update Agent event log to get more details, right? So these are the three troubleshooting steps. Basically, you need to check, right? In sometimes probably you need to check some other registry entries also. We can cover that later if there is a question about it, if there is a query about it, right? So hope that was clear. So let me go back to yeah to this page. And over here on Friday, I mentioned we need to cover the limitations, and I will cover that on Monday, right? So these are the limitations of Windows 10 feature updates, right? So that is what we are going to cover today, right? We are going to create a feature update, Windows 10 feature update policy. And before creating that, you need to make sure, if you are for example, right, on this we have mentioned something like we have created a policy, feature update deferral upgrade is 0. Why I created that? Because if I'm going to deploy these two policies, right? Windows 10 update ring as well as the Windows 10 feature updates ring, then it's recommended. The limitation is in the feature, in the update ring policy, the value should be deferral value should be 0. Then also, then only the feature updates will work as mentioned, right? So that is this is taken from the Microsoft documentation which I shared on Friday, right? The link which I shared on Friday, and the link is available in the video as well, video description also, right? So you can look into it. Okay, so other thing is, right, autopilot, right? If you are using autopilot, there is some known issue with autopilot and feature updates. If you are using autopilot 2B screen, then it is not recommended to use this policy now, right? And another update, I think I had a discussion about this with Dave offline, is that LTSB, right? If you are using LTSB version of Windows 10, probably that is not supported, right? So those are the three things which I wanted to highlight to you. All these are available in the Windows 10 update documentation, Microsoft documentation, right? So let's go ahead and create the policy over here. This is the policy which we had seen now, right? Windows 10 feature updates. So this is what we have seen in this picture, right? This one. Okay, so let's go ahead and create Windows 10 feature update policy. Create profile, and I will say HTMD feature ring 1, right? And this is the policy to keep Windows 10 version as 1903. Okay, so this is straightforward policy. There is nothing much over here, right? So only one policy configuration over here, and you want to say like, okay, which version I should be there, like my mission should be there, right? So it says there are a lot of options, like only lot of options means only supported scenarios, right? These are the supported OS at the moment, right? So 1803, 1809, 1903 and 1909, right? You can say like, if I select 1903, the device should stay in 1903. It should not get the feature updates at all, right? In this device, you can see like it already got the feature updates. It already got the feature update, and it's asking me to download, right? So if I set this particular policy, right, feature updates, 1903 feature updates, right, and if I deploy this to those devices, what will happen, right? Let's see that. Okay, so I selected 1903 and I want to stay all my Windows 10 missions in 1903. It's already there in 1903, sorry, 1909, then we can't do anything, right? So you need to remember, if a mission is already there in 1909, then there is no point creating this policy, right? To stay back in 1903. It won't roll back. Okay, just to give you a perspective of that, right? So this is, for example, if your missions are in 1903, or if your missions are in 1809 or something, probably it won't upgrade the missions to 1909. Okay, the feature update won't upgrade the missions to 1909. All the missions will stick with 1903 unless you change this settings, okay, or this policy. Okay, click on next, and again this assignment is same. You can select the groups, right? Select the groups to include. So I'm going to select my HTMD Windows devices. So again, before selecting the group, what we need to make sure, we need to make sure that where is my device? I can't see that. Okay, probably, give me a sec. Okay, Windows devices, right? So you need to make sure that this is the correct group. How to make sure that every time when you, before you deploy, you need to go into Azure Active Directory and check which are these devices, right? You are not, to make sure that you are not deploying to the wrong device group. Then that will create a long problem for you, right, in your production environment. So go to members and check which are those devices. So I have only 4 devices, Windows devices. This is a dynamic query. We have covered dynamic query membership rules also in the previous videos. Please watch those if you are not sure what is dynamic queries in Azure AD. Okay, so select that and click next, next, and create, right? So it is creating the policy now. Okay, it is creating the policy, and it says, okay, it's done. It says feature update deployment successfully assigned. Go to feature ring 1 to view the details, right? So if I go to feature ring 1, you can see, if I go to properties, you can see like these are the only options, right? So there's a difference in both, right? So in Windows 10 update ring, you can see, if I open this up, and you would be able to see something interesting over here, right? Over here, see, you can see delete, you can say pause, you can say like click on this, and you can say feature quality pause, feature pause, right? You can say like uninstall, you can say uninstall feature, uninstall quality. We will cover these in tomorrow's session probably, right? So let's go back to one of the client, and let's kind of try to initiate the policies manually. How to initiate it manually? There are 2 ways to do that, right? Company portal application. If you are using MDM channel, then you can initiate it from here, right? Or you can go to console devices, right? You can go to console devices and you can sync it from here, right? There's option, right? If you are opening up this, you can sync it from here. This is one option, but I'm not very I don't know, like, I'm not very comfortable with this option. I have seen sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So I normally do from here, right? So I go to company portal and right click on the company portal icon, sync, start sync, right? So it will automatically start syncing, right? Otherwise you can go to settings, as you know, right? Settings, and you can see like in the settings you can see, go to accounts and see what are the options over there, right? So sync completed, right? And in the event logs, probably if you go, you can see like, okay, there could be some event logs related to sync. Okay, so let me go back to the other machine, right, and sync. Other problem with event log is it's not live, right? When I say it's not live, you need to refresh. Okay, you need to right click and refresh, then only the new logs will come, right? So it's not like CM trace or something, right? If you are familiar with that. Okay, so let me go to company portal and sync for the policies, right? Okay, and while syncing, let me try to refresh, right? And it says 824. Okay, this is the latest one. Past, okay, 8415. So sync is not happened yet. Mm, let me refresh it again and see. Okay, so that has happened now, 37. That is, yeah, that is some seconds before, right? So sync successfully happened. As this is a troubleshooting thing which you can do, and you can ignore some of these errors, right? If you are not, if there is nothing much to see over here, right? Probably this is something like this is normal, right? AD Azure AD to policies, ADMX fake policy, right? So this is interesting, right? This is fake policy. I don't know, probably a non-issue. Okay, they are trying to do something. Microsoft is trying to do with something with ADMX install, and you can see like fake policy. So you can easily ignore it because we are not deploying ADMX policy. We are deploying software update policies, right? So we can ignore that for now. And I think it's 8:25. Probably we can close for today, and we can open. I can open up for the questions. Is this helpful? Are you able to catch or understand?
Yes, Anup. This is really helpful.
Yes, sir.
Good
Yeah,
to know.
it's helpful.
Yes, no.
Okay, so any questions? No questions. Okay, so that means you're not sure something, or you're confused about Windows 10 updates and Windows 10 feature updates or something else.
No, nothing like that. I haven't started using Intune much. It is just being introduced, and I'm still to get the access for Intune, so I don't have much of queries for
Okay.
me at least.
Okay, sure.
Anup,
Yeah, Harish.
we said that already some feature update was trying to get installed on one of the mission. How do you stop it? It's already there on the system, right? On Intune, one of the system, I think it's a corporate system which got triggered from the yesterday's policy. You
Yeah,
wanted to stop. Yeah.
I don't know that. Probably we will check that tomorrow, right? And we will
Okay.
get to know about that. So I want to test it, whether
Oh, okay.
the new policy will stop it or not. I have not tested the scenario. So we
Okay.
are lucky enough to get this scenario at least in our lab environment. Normally, we don't get into these scenarios in normal lab environments, but this trial version, we luckily had a 1903 mission, and you remember we have created it for Azure AD joint testing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we will see
Yeah.
that tomorrow. What will happen? Whether we would be able to revert that things back, or like it will anyways install after the restart.
Hi Anup, this is Mani.
Hi, Mani.
We deployed a update ring policy by defining a maintenance window for a user, right? If a user has been changed that maintenance window by going to the settings in a machine, will that take effect or it will still refer to the maintenance window of an update string policy?
User, you are talking about. Give me a sec. You're talking about active hours, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I go to properties, and we have set active hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? So if I go
Yeah.
to my Azure AD join device, and if I go to, first of all, I have not seen option to set active hours in company portal, right? I don't know whether have
It's
you
there in Windows Update. It is there in Windows Update.
Windows update? Windows update. Am I looking into the wrong place, or?
We are looking in company portal. It is in normal settings.
Okay. In over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Active hours. Okay. So yeah, so automatically adjust the active hours based on okay, this is disabled, right? So this is off now. So based on this settings, probably current active hours is changed. I don't know. I am an admin user, probably I don't know whether that is why it is giving us ability to change. We don't know. I don't know. Uh, so so we might need to log in with the normal user and check whether the user is able to change it, or like it will be overridden by the MDM policy or not. I don't know about
Okay.
that at the moment. And
Okay.
probably we can check that in the documentation over here somewhere, right? Active hours. Open research devices or active hours automatically look for the time of it installed. I think, I don't know. We need to check. We will discuss this tomorrow probably. I will find out
Yeah.
more details. Um, yeah, good question. Anyways, yeah. Thank you.
And also one more question. When we are in a, I'm not sure whether it is related to here or not. When we are in a co-management, means we are maintaining with SCCM as well as Intune. If we deploy a policy with Intune and also from SCCM, which will take precedence?
It depends, right? For example, if you have moved co-management workload slide to Intune, then Intune policy will take the precedence, right?
Okay. Okay.
So if it's coming, if you have set that as a SCCM, then SCCM policies will take precedence. So that is the idea of the slider.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anup, Harish here again. Sorry, my internet connection was bad. I was
Yeah.
trying to ask, how did it pick the version? We did not mention the version at all in any of the yesterday configuration. So how did it choose to which version to get upgraded?
Which thing? A feature update or quality?
It's a feature update. Yesterday we did not give any feature update. Today we are mentioning that we want to keep our
Yeah.
systems at so and so.
Yeah, so
But
in Windows 10 update ring policy, we don't have option to select any particular version of feature update. So the only option available is deferral days, right? Maximum is 365. If I say like something like
yeah,
this, it will say like, okay, so
yeah,
this is the maximum amount. So there is no option
yeah.
to do that.
Okay, how did it pick the versions then? I mean, like to upgrade to
So,
1903, it automatically pick the immediate
yeah,
next version or something?
it will automatically download it from internet, Microsoft Update Service, right?
What is the
And it
next
will
available version
install.
is?
Yeah, so this is the way, right? So it will download it from here and it will configure it. So we are configuring a policy, for example, for 365 days, right? So if we say like a deferral period is 365 days, then it won't install any update feature updates for those 365 days, right? So after that 365 days, whatever is available, the latest update, it will get installed.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, man. Okay.
And
So any
one
other
more
questions? Yeah. So
Yeah. If last month update already taken through group policy, right? For one machine you have shown, because Thursday took the machine. What will happen for the next month? Into MDM policy will take over, yeah, same group policy will work.
So basically here the group policy is also a local policy. It's not a domain policy, right? See, so these missions are not local domain joined missions, right? So these are local policies, right? If you go to GP edit, right, you would be able to see local policies, right? So these are those policies, right? So obviously in MDM, if we have a similar configuration in MDM, that should take the precedence, right? So now you are seeing this group policy. Probably we don't have a similar policy related to this in MDM, or so I normally assume like that. That is why it is taking the group policy. So if there is an MDM policy, we had three, if you remember correctly, or if you can see the Friday's video, right? You can see like there were three group policies, right? if I see now, I can see only 2, right? I don't know. I'm checking now. I think I can see only 2. So 1 got overridden, right? So that is the idea. So MDM is your policy authority now. So it should ideally take precedence.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so thank you all for joining in. We will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Anuj. Bye.
Thanks, Anu.
Thank you.